A goods can be made of or made from something. Both are not entirely the same thing. Do you understand? When the starting material is seen in the final product, we use made of. When the starting material is not seen in the final material, we use made from. Exactly. For example, nails are made of iron. We can see the iron in the nails. Do you understand? Example 2. Paper is made from wood. Exactly. Here we cannot see the wood in the paper. Hope you understand. So when the starting material is not seen in the final product, we use made from. Exactly. Hello everyone, welcome to our school YouTube channel by Aide and Nusa. We are going to be looking at a very important topic in the use of English. If you are searching for UTME, Post-Utme, Waec, Neco, etc., this is a very important topic to take note of. So what is a preposition? Prepositions are words that are used to connect subjects and other words in a sentence. Examples include in, to, on, off, and so on. Another thing is, prepositions do follow some words to give a certain meaning to it, such that if they are used wrongly, it renders a sentence ungrammatical or gives them a different meaning entirely. Exactly. We are going to be looking at all the possible prepositions you are likely to be asked. Number 1, to mean better than or less than something or someone, the right preposition is superior to or inferior to. Example, Mr. Jude feels inferior to his boss. To mean to take advantage of something or a situation, the right preposition is capitalized on. Example, the French army capitalized on the Russians' weakness. When you don't react well to the presence of something, you are said to be allergic to it. Example, I am allergic to dogs. Hope you understand. Number 4, when you look at something or someone for a long period of time, you are said to stare at them or the thing. Example, I don't like the way she stared at me. Exactly. Now, use hand down from to mean to pass something from a generation to another. Example, the folk tales have been handed down from generation to generation. Exactly. Use at full speed to mean at a very high speed. Example, the car rattled along at full speed. To be interested in something or someone, simply use curious about. Example, the man was curious about how the dead body got into the car. Exactly. Know that you are responsible for something, but you are responsible to someone or somebody. Example 1. The teacher should be responsible for their students' apathy to studying. Here, apathy to studying is the thing they should be responsible for.
What we need to realize and know
Exactly.
is every one of us is trying to be a better
Example
person.
2. The clerk is responsible to the governor. You can see in this sentence that the governor is who the clerk is responsible to. Do you understand? All right, let's move forward. Either you are entrusted with something or entrusted to somebody. Example, the task was entrusted to his assistant. Assistant here is somebody. Exactly. Whereas I was entrusted with the gold chain is also correct. Remember that gold chain is something or a thing. Exactly. You are proud of something or somebody. Example, I am proud of my son. He bought his first car recently.
Let's celebrate.
You are pleased with something or somebody. Example, the manager is pleased with her winning the contract. Hope you understand this. Number 12. You are either envious of somebody or something. Example, Adaku should stop being envious of her brother. Do you get that? Now, number 13. You are either good with something or somebody. Example, the girl is very good with old people. Do you understand? You persist in doing something. Example, why do you persist in saying she caused your father's death? Exactly. Why something is broadcast on television, you listen to something on the radio. Example, the question and answer session with the artist is broadcast on the television every Thursday. Exactly. Example, I heard about the coup on the radio. Do you get that? Something can result from another thing. Example, the fight resulted from the quarrel between the two tribes. Also know that something results in another thing. Example, the student's indifference to studying resulted in failure. Exactly. So something can result from something and something can result in another thing. Exactly. You say something in somebody's hearing. Example, the teacher asked Rebecca to read the passage in his hearing. Do you get it? Now, number 18. You charge somebody with murder. Example, a gator is charged with murder. Exactly. You are prone to something. Example, my integrated science teacher told me that people with AA genotype are prone to malaria.
Wow!
Exactly. So you are prone to something. You intercede for somebody. Example, the man shouldn't have interceded for you when your father was about to flog you. Exactly. Now see, you are angry at something, but you are angry with somebody. I repeat, you are angry at something, but angry with somebody. Exactly. Example, I am still angry with you for selling my cat. Example 2. The principal was very angry at the way we conducted ourselves during the quiz competition. Do you get that? So you are angry at something but angry with somebody. Exactly. Now know this. To mean get into, use dabble in. Example, the chief dabbles in politics from time to time. You get acquainted with something. Example, the consultant told us to get ourselves acquainted with the procedure of the surgery. Exactly. So you get acquainted with something. You are afraid of something or someone. Do you get that? Example, I am afraid of traveling by air. Exactly. Okay. Now, you are subjected to something or somebody. Example, the robber was subjected to thorough beating before he was handed over to the police. Exactly. So you are subjected to something or somebody. The next, you confide in someone. Example, Mary confided in BC before the latter betrayed her. So you confide in someone. Okay? Now, you comply with someone or somebody. For example, the students must comply with the school rules and regulations. Exactly. Now know that you abide by something. You abide by something. Example, every player has to abide by the rules of this club. Exactly. Also know that you atone for something. Example, the man has atoned for his sins. Exactly. Okay. To be good at something, use flavor. To be good at something, use flavor. Example, most medicine aspirants have a flair for chemistry. Exactly. Okay. To commit to memory means to learn something very well. Example, let's try to commit everything in the course to memory before the next class. Do you get that? Okay. Please know that you insist on something. You insist on something. Example, she insisted on traveling last week despite our pleas. Exactly. To go back or not to fulfill a promise, use renege on. To go back or not to fulfill a promise, use renege on. Example, do not renege on this contract. Do not renege on this contract. You get that right? To not be concerned about something, use indifferent to. Indifferent to means you are not concerned about something. For example, the people are indifferent to who rules. Exactly. In place of being accustomed to something, you can use inured to. Example, I have been living in Jigawa for 13 years, so I have become inured to the heat. Do you get that? You can be sympathetic to something. Example, the kid was sympathetic to the wounded dog. Do you get? However, you sympathize with somebody. So you are sympathetic to something, but you sympathize with somebody. Example, we sympathize with you on the death of your father. Okay? To be found guilty of a crime in a court, the right preposition is convicted of. Convicted of. Okay? Example, Antonio went to jail after he was convicted of murder. Alright? So convicted of is when you are found guilty of a crime in the court of law. Alright? To do something usually undesirable because there is no other way to do it, use the preposition resort to. Example, ASUU always resort to strike action whenever their demands are not met. Alright? You agree on something. Example, this is the first time Praise and I will agree on matter concerning football. Alright? Please take note that while you agree on something, you agree to a suggestion. Do you get? Example, I hope the boss agrees to our suggestion. Alright? To mean to stamper or run, use the expression take fright at. Alright? Example, timid people do take fright at the sound of thunder. Okay? To mean to run, use take fright at. Exactly. To mean not controlled, influenced, or reliant on something else, use independent of. Example, Sheriff is old enough to be independent of her parents. Alright? To stop doing something, use desist from. Example, I will flog you if you don't desist from going to nightclubs. Alright? To mean eager, use desirous of. To mean eager, use desirous of. Example, the young singer was desirous of meeting Wizkid. Exactly. Now, to mean to have a natural tendency or inclination to do something or to be affected by something usually bad, use prone to. Example, he is prone to catching common cold. You get that, right? You are obliged to somebody, which means to be indebted to the person. Do you get? So you are obliged to somebody. Example, I am obliged to you for your help. Somebody is notorious for something. Example, Lawrence Anini was notorious for stealing in the past. Okay? Please know, to have a liking or affection for something or someone, use fond of. Example, Debbie is fond of her cat. Exactly. To be very interested in or eager for something or someone, use keen on. Example, Real Madrid are keen on signing Pogba. Do you understand? Now let's move forward. To stop yourself from doing something, use refrain from. Okay? Example, I tried to refrain from keeping too many friends when I was in the university. Okay? Exactly. You are disgruntled at something. Example, the teacher was disgruntled at our coming late to class. Alright? You are bereft of something, which means lacking or deprived of the thing. Okay? Example, the chairman was bereft of points during the meeting. Exactly. Now, to be said to have committed a crime or done something wrong, use guilty of. Example, the boy was guilty of the crime. Exactly. Something is popular or common with people. Example, making fireworks is popular with children during festive periods. Do you understand? Now, to mean give up, use resign yourself to. Exactly. The poor man has resigned himself to fate. To mean give up, use resign yourself to. Exactly. Okay, please note that you act in accordance with something. Example, the principal told us that everything we do must be in accordance with the rules and regulations of the school. Exactly. So you act in accordance with something. Okay? Note that you leave a place for another. Example, I had left Sapele for Lagos before I married. 59. Note that you travel by land, sea, train, or air. That is, the correct thing is travel by. Example, I love traveling by air. Exactly. Also, you start something or end something at a particular time. Example, the meeting will start at exactly 4 p.m. Do you get that? Example 2, the class will end at 11 a.m. Exactly. So number 61, to take away some of the right of someone, the right thing to say is infringe on. Infringe on. Example, do not infringe on the right of other people. You get that, right? Down 62. To mean an organism or parasite overriding something or someplace, use infested with. Infested with. Exactly. So example, the room is infested with lies. Note that you are an eyewitness to a crime or an event. Example, the lady was an eyewitness to the murder. Alright? Now, note that something is done according to another thing. Example, I did it according to the instructions you gave me. So something is done according to another thing. When you answer to someone, you are said to be accountable to that person. Exactly. For example, every medical personnel in the hospital is accountable to this man. To me conclude, use round off. To me conclude, use round off. Example, the class was rounded off very early. Is that clear? Round up, on the other hand, means either to arrest, gather together, or could also mean a summary. Is that clear? So round up means to arrest, to gather together, or summary. But round off means to conclude. Is that clear? Example now. The cattle were rounded up after the man left. This means the cattle were gathered together. Is that clear? Example 2 now. The armed robbers were rounded up last week. This means that they were arrested. Hope you understand. Now, you congratulate someone on an achievement. Example, she was the first person to congratulate me on my admission. Is that clear? Also note that you prefer something to another thing. Example, I prefer eating rice in the morning to eating yam. So you prefer something to another. To me, get used to, use accustomed to. Example, I have gotten accustomed to their way of life in Kaduna. Is that clear? Note that you have preference for something over another thing. Example, I have preference for rice over yam. Is that clear? While you travel by train, bus, air or plane, you actually sit on the bus, train or plane. Is that clear? So I can give an example like she claimed to see our government teacher on the bus this morning. Is that clear? So on the bus, on the train, on the plane, these are correct. You get that? Note that a person or group go into action. Example, the army plan to go into action in the midnight. Hope you understand. Note that while you connive with somebody, you connive at something. Example, he was sacked for conniving with the secretary to secretly steal funds allocated to the project. Is that clear? Example 2, by not protesting, you are conniving at the destruction of the country. Is that clear? The next, note that something is familiar to somebody. Example, I am familiar to everything in this school. Also note that you can also use familiar with. So you can also say, I am familiar with everything in this school. That's also correct. Okay? Please note that you insist on something. You insist on something. Example, I insisted on being driven to school. Okay? You take pride in something or somebody. Example, the woman should take pride in her appearance. Okay? Now, something is repellent to somebody. Something is repellent to somebody. For example, his suggestion on the matter is repellent to me. Exactly. Note that you take delight in something. Example, the serial killer confessed to taking delight in seeing someone being stabbed. Also note that you show repentance for something. For example, Evan showed no repentance for all his atrocities. Exactly. You complain about something. The patient does complain about acute earache. You get that right? Please also note that you benefit from something or by something. For example, who stands to benefit from this program? Use consist of to mean contain. For example, the class consists of 40 girls. Exactly. You are cured of something. For example, the man was cured of cancer. Also note that you are disappointed at something. For example, my aunt was disappointed at my performance. Exactly. You are disappointed in somebody or with somebody. Remember, you are disappointed at something, but now you are disappointed in somebody or with somebody. Exactly. Example 1. I am disappointed in the government. They can't just seem to get anything done. Example 2. I was disappointed with the first candidate. She didn't really have the skills we need for the job. You keep up with something or a situation. Example, a businessman must keep up with the times. Do you understand? You hope for something. Example, the doctors are operating on him. All we can do is hope for the best. You accuse somebody of something. Example, for a president to be impeached, he must be accused of a high crime. Exactly. Alright, next. You confront someone with something. You confront someone with something. Example, Annalise didn't know she was in trouble until she was confronted with the evidence of her crime. With the evidence of her guilt, rather. Exactly. Now, you are engaged or married to someone. Example, the girl is now engaged to her boyfriend. Exactly. You scare or frighten someone to death. For example, I was scared to death at the sight of the lion. Exactly. Number 92. You interfere with something. You interfere with something. Example, she always try not to interfere with other people's personal affairs. You impose something on somebody. For example, they tried to impose the tax on us all. To mean comply or agree, you can use conform to or conform with. Example, his ideas do not conform to mine, or his ideas do not conform with mine. Exactly, they are both correct. To think through something before making a decision, you can use sleep on it. Example, sleep on it before making a decision. Exactly. You capitalize on something or a situation. For example, the home team capitalized on the visitor's weakness just before halftime. Exactly. Now, to me, get acquainted with something, use avail yourself of. Example, try to avail yourself of the full range of hotel facilities. Exactly. You testify for or against someone. Example 1. Did you actually believe Maria will testify against her husband? Example 2. It is dangerous to testify for the man in court. Exactly. Now, you live on a street. Example, Mrs. Smith has lived on this street for 22 years. Now, you abstain from something. Example, I tried to abstain from smoking when I was in school. Exactly. Now, to mean sack, you can use relief of. Example, the secretary was relieved of his job. So to mean sack, you use relief of. Exactly. Now, you can be good, skillful, expert, clever at something. For example, she is very good at economics. Do you get? So all of these go with at. Exactly. So good, skillful, expert, clever at something. Exactly. Now, you sit on a fence, sit on a chair, sit on the edge of a table, sit at a desk, and you sit in an armchair. Exactly. Do you get that? Now, you repose confidence in someone. So you repose confidence in someone. For example, I am happy for the confidence reposed in me. Exactly. You repose confidence in someone. Now, when you dispense with somebody or something, it means to do without them or do away with them. Exactly. Example, I wish he would dispense with the pleasantries and get to the point. Now, you discuss something or somebody. Never you add about to discuss. Exactly. So you discuss about is very wrong. For example, the lecturer discussed demand and supply in the economics class. Exactly. Example 2. We discussed you at the meeting. Now take a look at this. Discuss about you at the meeting is very wrong. Exactly. Discussed about you at the meeting is wrong. You are within hearing distance to a sound. Exactly. You are within hearing distance to a sound. For example, I was within hearing distance to the music. Exactly. Now, to mean fight or confront, you can use take on. To mean fight or confront, you can use take on. For example, Anthony Joshua has agreed to take on Deontay Wilder. Exactly. Please note that when someone who has succeeded in doing some shady deeds eventually get caught, we can say the person has run out of luck. Exactly. To mean betrayal, we can say the person has gotten stabbed in the back. Do you get that? Please note the in the expression, not at the back or on the back. It is in the back. Exactly. To mean commendation for a job well done, you are said to receive a pat on the back. Exactly. For a job well done, you receive a pat on the back. You are contemptuous of something means to look at the thing with disdain. Exactly. Finally, a goods can be made of or made from something. Both are not entirely the same thing. Do you understand? When the starting material is seen in the final product, we use made of. When the starting material is not seen in the final material, we use made from. Exactly. For example, nails are made of iron. We can see the iron in the nails. Do you understand? Example 2. Paper is made from wood. Exactly. Here we cannot see the wood in the paper. Hope you understand. So when the starting material is not seen in the final product, we use made from. Exactly.